Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to get singles for all your Force of Will and other trading card games, as well as these amazing patrons.
Thank you for your support. Enjoy the video.
But like, yeah, a lot of the quick casts, like that determination is not just a swiftness spell. You know?
No, it
like,
isn't. It's got so
then,
I have had a lot of weird ways to kill people with that spell. Like, you have 2 determinations, and you're like, okay, so there's a theoretical line here. Somewhere. Ooh, a Dark Depth.
Tell me he's got that look. Damn. That a boy. This is how you do it. Now he shows him 2 claws.
Yeah, 2 claws. Yeah.
Oh. So, yeah.
2 claws and a mole. And you're just like, well.
You're like, oh, okay, well. GG.
Just opens up a hand of 4 hot springs.
What up? What up? Welcome back, buddy. Foray.
Alright. Looks like he's discarding a don't cheat. Which tells me that I presume there's not a claw in the hand. That's at least
I guess so. Interesting.
Don't cheat is also an annoying card for Loki to deal with, because, you know...
Oh, there is a claw. There is a claw.
There's
he
a claw,
the
a Burning Rush, a Zukwe. Can't say I agree, but, you know.
Yeah, the turn 1 claw here.
We are here to commentate, I suppose.
The turn 1 claw here is going to be interesting.
It's going to be a pretty solid claw. I suppose it depends also, like, I don't remember how many, like, Seal of Lenneth that Andrew was running in his list. He could have an answer for the claw.
He might, then, which would be interesting. Because, yeah, pulling the don't cheat now, it definitely suggests that he has something going for him. But yeah, Anthony, the Twitch Prime, essentially what that is it doesn't auto renew at all. It's just you have to do it every single time, every month. So yeah, right now, if you are not, which I think we only have the 2 subscribers right now, and I think it's Minha. So, but yeah, it's like I set a little reminder in my phone for like the 2nd of every month, and I'm just like, renew your Twitch Prime, so that way I can like just always know. Because yeah, the Twitch Prime, it's free. It doesn't just do it for you all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony. Yeah, if you you know, and if honestly, if the sub, because I know a lot of those subs came off of, there it is. Good call. Interesting enough though. Ballsy play. Lucky. Ballsy play.
Very, very ballsy. He
right?
He didn't get punished by his stones, which is a positive thing.
Yeah, it is a very positive thing. Oof. So I wonder if ripping the don't cheat, we're gonna get the harvesting season right now.
Yeah. Because then you can harvesting season, and harvesting wasn't a card I was running in my version of Perfect Loki, so it's a little bit different for me to think about harvesting lines, admittedly. Okay.
So yeah, hitting the claw, that's gonna be bad. Or so it would have been bad if he didn't hit his white source, right?
Right. This is a really good start.
Yeah, no, it's hitting black out the gate, hitting white on the second color. This is as nutty as it needs to be.
He gets a Fenrir to his hand.
What's going on, Sam?
He's supposed to get the Fenrir to his hand.
But yeah, Babatunde, you're saying you found out how to sub from your phone? Because I've never been able to figure out how to sub from the phone. Hey! Well, we definitely figured it out.
Somebody figured out something.
Somebody figured it out. Where is my notification? I don't see anything on that.
I see one that says
it is.
That...
Subscribe
there's a bunch
Twitch
of people
Prime
subscribing.
For 3 months.
Ooh. Nice.
Converted from a Twitch Prime to a tier 1 sub. Damn. The boy, Minha. We'll make sure that we carry that over.
Andrew, read your cards. Anywho, Andrew should, if he read his cards, have a Fenrir in his hand, but he didn't, so he just harvested a Fenrir and didn't get it. So
Because I guess you are right. So whenever this card is put into the graveyard from the deck, put it into your hand.
Yes, and
Your
it only
J
goes to the
ruler.
field if your J ruler is
Well,
perfect.
I guess we're actually going to tell him because that's how we do it in the Rogues Guild. Like,
Yeah.
even though this is what it is, this is testing, and that needs to be
Exactly.
like, we need to play the way that it needs
I've
to
played
happen.
this card a lot. I know how it operates.
Only goes in the hand if you don't have Loki. So hold on. When this card
It's
is put in the
oh, yeah,
graveyard, no,
yeah.
put it into your hand.
Yeah, it only goes to hand if you don't have Ploki. I'm worded that weird, as opposed to going into the field is what I meant.
Ah,
I have a brain space. It sometimes operates in certain ways.
there it goes.
There we go.
All right, so then going into
Okay,
his
so there's a
turn,
spring on the board.
we played the spring, and then what?
It looks like he's just gonna start pushing damage with the Zukwe.
What else did we use our will for? We used one for the spring, and then one for...
Burning Rush.
Oh,
He Burning Rushed the token to push more damage.
with
So
what will?
he has 3 friendship counters, so it only costs 1.
Ah,
Yeah.
that is how that card works.
That card
Hell
has a lot
yeah.
of lines of text on it, so
So
it's
Hot
still an
Spring-
okay start.
No, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Because I mean, the hand's only at 3. We know we know the Burning Awakening is there, but then a Stranger is the only thing that we don't know. But he can't play it. Absolutely tapped out.
I don't think he has a stranger, does he?
Yeah, he.
He got a token on friendship counters off of.
Oh God, he
Regalia,
did, didn't he?
which is the correct line early on. You usually don't go for the strangers. Just the early pressure of a massive token is usually more than enough. Because on turn 1, that's an 8/8 that you've just put into play for basically free.
Yeah.
Because you're getting other value on top of it. So a little bit. Okay. Loki's in. Oh, he's got a perfect Loki. Okay.
Interesting. So
I was expecting a Return of God, but that's.
I don't think he wanted to risk it. Like, I think in his
that's
mind,
reasonable.
if he didn't hit the Athenia, which has happened, is absolutely happened. If you don't hit the
Oh,
Athenia,
yeah.
then you don't get to play anything for the rest of your turn, right? And then you're in
Yeah.
you're in Clapsville. So
I don't know if he plays Mana Transmuter, but if you play Mana Transmuter, you have
Mhm.
2 hits that lets you set up the perfect Loki on the next turn.
Mhm. We did decrease the count to 2 on
Okay.
the Mana Transmuter.
Yeah. I might have to try this list at some point. It looks close enough to my list that I'd be comfortable with it, but also that's
So,
not a stone.
Callstone Pass, pretty good. Probably swing here for 8. No reason not to.
You can also hold up Perfect Loki as a blocker. You are at 20,
Mm-hmm.
which puts you like within a reasonable amount of burst range. Like just frighteningly reasonable amount. Because this is Pricia. They can do things.
Mm-hmm.
No, he'll go in for 8. Okay. Chip in damage while you can.
Well, I mean, so the way that I see this deck right now is he should also be playing. He should playing the return. So like, there's a chance that Ploki can have lethal next turn, if the deck kind of goes in that way, right? And that 8 is a little mandatory for it. So we'll see. We'll see how that ends up going.
I wonder if he has another Perfect Loki in hand, or if he has like. Alright, there's a Return of God. If he's got like a Bewildering Charm or some other way to recycle this Perfect Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's pretty hard to win this matchup based on just the back of your 8/8 alone. But it's certainly possible. A lot of it, I think, is going to rely on what we hit off of this, which
Yeah.
is an Athenia, so that's a positive thing.
So float the black, which is
Probably.
which is kind of like one of the big things with this. Like, I found playing the Perfect Loki a lot of times, like if I'm on 3 and I only have that one black source, like hitting that Athenia is pretty damn detrimental to getting a second black going, because the deck is a lot of black.
Yeah. You are quite a bit of black. This is the deck that would most like to see having like a 3 mana. What is... Now I'm curious. What is Dylan doing for tapping? Oh, he tapped his mana for Athenia. My brain doesn't operate sometimes.
Yep. So yeah,
Okay,
a little
he
bit
floats
of float,
1 mana
floating
off.
in black. So is there any of the 4 Sacred Beasts that we're kind of worried about coming down right now? Because that's all that I would see Pricia doing right now.
Is there anything that would be scary? Not enormously, no. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Like, the turtle would...
The turtle just recycles cards that you don't mind having in your hand anyway.
Exactly,
especially with
right?
this mana transmuter, like, it just means that you get to be minus X stones.
Yeah.
He gets to put in a Zooquay and shoot something for a negligible amount of damage.
200?
And have 4/4.
When this card
Yeah,
goes to field.
200 damage.
And then
This has been a very good line of hitting your... Andrew's hit everything right.
And without a claw, these are just weak ass
just
creatures.
It's a 4/4 with swiftness. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no, this is like in my mind right here. So we've got 8, 16, 22 on board. Right? All right, so
Mole goes and gets a claw, so you get to hold up claw now.
Erendite, if we got it. Nope, didn't have it.
So can this change anything? You
Not
cast claw.
really, because I would
No,
say
not
that
really.
mana transmuter is actually saying that I think we have Kaguya in hand.
That could. That'd be a good Kaguya.
It would be. We're only running 1 though.
They're only running 1 though.
But like in my mind, yeah.
Yep, he's Kaguya.
In my mind,
Oof.
that altar wouldn't have been, or the mana transmuter wouldn't have been the play. It would have been altar if you didn't have Kaguya in hand. So,
but it also represents the Kaguya too. Like you just go, here's this. Play around with the fact that I now can produce green mana, and you're like, yeah, that's the thing you can now do. So now we're at the point where
should be GG.
Pretty close, as long as he's got the Fenrir in hand. So as long as Dylan hasn't drawn a don't cheat, like I just flip.
I mean,
as long as you have a perfect Loki in hand, as long as you have the other perfect Loki, I just flip a Neo Rag and say that's the game.
See, that's your blue aggression there, like, flip.
I just like to win the game. I
like he has two cards that you don't know what they are, and you're just like,
yeah,
whatever.
And I'm in a commanding board state. Like, if they don't cheat my Neo Rag, I'm like, okay.
So, like, in my mind, that's tapping out. That's being super aggressive. Like, there is no.
Oh, it's very
reason.
aggressive. Don't worry. Freed. Oh, he's gonna freed from the altar for the other perfect Loki.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I have been less of a fan of freed from the altar in this deck, but I get it.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It gets you the Athenias. It gets you the perfect Lokis. It's
I think it becomes more important now. I was playing Invitation for the sake of being easier to cast and being able to fetch anything in your deck, which includes mostly Fenrir. That was what I was playing when I was building the list. But so Judgment Perfect Loki.
Oh, and he has a Bewildering Charm Engrave.
Yeah, now he has Bewildering Charm Engrave.
So that is actually super good because he paid the black. So he hasn't used Mana Transmuter. So Mana Transmuter will probably be used to Look of Corruption again. It'll be used to Look of Corruption this turn, go down to 14, and then
get a Fenrir. Yeah.
Okay.
I love a good
Which
Fenrir.
Fenrir was that?
Actually, I don't know.
Like that can't be the one.
I haven't seen him mill his cards off of his Loki yet, unless he was just grabbing it while he's looking at.
Maybe
that's possible. Yeah, because he moved it from main deck 9 into play.
Yeah.
So instead of just milling the top 10, he just looked at the top 10 which makes sense.
Ooh,
And so now,
that's Sephiroth. No.
yeah, you
Look
can
of
also cast
Corruption.
Sephiroth here. You can cast Sephiroth. You can cast Look of Corruption.
Look of Corruption will
just get
pull that Super Beast.
You also just get to pop in for 7 plus 6, 13,
Oh, yeah.
plus 8, 21, plus 8, 29.
8, 16, 22.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has
29.
any other way to burst here, but...
Power of Immortality, lethal.
Oh yeah, Power of Immortality is lethal.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Instead, he also gonna look. At
He's
corruption
just gonna
to
make sure.
there's
He's
not-
gonna make sure there's not a don't
Yeah.
cheat.
Um.
Don't cheat. Power of Immortality, lethal. Got him.
Yeah. Or he passes the turn.
Nope. Never.
I mean, he just did.
Wait. Oh shit. Did we not play Power of Immortality? Hold on.
He's got one in his expel zone.
Hold on. Oh yeah, shit. Okay. So now we scooped.
I'm presuming that Dylan
Time
scooped
out.
there.
Time out. Time out. All right. Let me go look. Let me just real quick. I gotta pipe in. Yeah, go ask. Hey, so did you scoop after drawing, Dylan?
Yeah, I drew a turtle and just scooped it up.
Got it. Okay. The Kaguya came in on your turn, right, Andrew? Or on your opponent's turn?
On his opponent, on his turn. I stopped the Regalia.
Are you playing Power of Immortality in the main?
I'm playing it in the main board, yeah. I could have... I needed a way... I could have got the Dark Alice to do it again if I needed to, but I
What
grabbed
were-
the Sephiroth.
What was
What?
his other two cards in hand?
I don't know.
Chicken and
Yeah, so I mean, you did the Look of Corruption and you pulled the Burning, right?
yeah.
And so he had no
Yeah.
answers to Power of Immortality on Kaguya Swing for Lethal.
Correct.
Got it.
No, I was just dead the next turn anyway.
Got it. Okay, just checking.
I could put down a one blocker or two.
Yeah, no, that
So
was...
wait,
Your hand
wait,
was
how much-
ripped. It was GG.
Wait, were you only at like 4? You were like, I was only 4 off. I wasn't even calculating the life. I was just too focused on trying to grab cards to keep my life from not getting lower.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, I was just looking at it, and Cal and I were like, oh, there he is. He's gonna Look of Corruption, make sure there's not a don't cheat, perfect, and then he's gonna Power of Immortality for lethal. Fuck, he passed turn.
And I totally punched it. I wasn't even looking at the life. I saw my life was at 13. I was like, my life's at 13. I need to stabilize. I wasn't
So,
focused on
the
trying to kill.
best way to stabilize is just kill your opponent.
Yeah, makes sense.
The best. All right, good luck, have fun.
All right.
So what's the verdict?
He was focusing on stabilizing.
Instead of killing his opponent. You
Exactly.
know, reasonable.
Hi, kids. Do you like violence? Yeah. You stick 9-inch nails through both of my eyelids.
This is what I do when I'm left alone in chat, Josh.
Yeah, no, Loki is very scary, but we do need to preface that he hit black on 1 and white on 2. Like
He hit every exact perfect stone he needed. He had every tool in hand.
I will
I'm not
say
saying
though,
that that's impossible to have,
Yeah.
but that was an example of Loki having just the screws.
No, and what was very interesting there is like I wonder what his he would have ripped Claw if he didn't have Seal,
Yeah.
and then I wonder what that game would have looked like, right? Like
It would have been interesting. A few things would have changed through it. I think post board I wouldn't do that risky play, and the reason I wouldn't is because hey, look, turn 1 look. That's
all
cool.
day.
Uh,
If he didn't
all day,
shuffle his
every
stones, though, let me look at this. It has drawn. All right, blah blah blah. Modified counters. Let's see if he shuffle. If he didn't shuffle his deck, he's gonna hit like 4 of these dark depths. Just untap. He just got untapped. Okay, so for sure Claw.
Regardless of what's going on here, I take Claw. And
Absolutely.
the reason there is post-board, I don't know what Dylan has in his sideboard. In my Pricia deck, am going to be sideboarding like 3 copies of Unsealing of God in every single Pricia sideboard I play. And that's just because blowing up a Seal of Lenneth that's holding a Claw hostage is just such a back-breakingly powerful play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That I just don't think you ever pass up that opportunity. That's why I was playing like 3 of them in my machine sideboard. I won a game by judgmenting off of an Unsealing of God. It was fun.
So this is going to be one of those very interesting situations. Looking at this hand, how the hell is he going to get to 3 friendship counters?
That's a good question. Double don't cheat will help him to like prevent stuff from happening. Andrew can't just freely harvesting season anymore.
No.
He also can't freely do anything.
You know what I do right now, though?
Is Andrew not playing Neo Rag in his extra deck?
Oh, no. No, he's not. He's not. Well, hold on. Let me look.
I don't see it. I'm looking at it right now.
No, yeah. And honestly, I was never on the Neo Rag bandwagon either. Just because
I was. Yeah. Well, another Hot Springs will get you part of the way there.
Yeah, and then...
Worst case scenario, if that's a mole or a boar, the empty card in his hand.
Honestly,
3.
He's about to get Loki's insight for damn sure. Like
yeah,
as soon as he passes turn, it's Loki's insight. You about to get clapped, son. Double don't cheat. Bye bye.
See, I get that, but I also feel like he didn't time that correctly.
Whoa, what do you mean?
When you have a Loki's insight like that, I feel like it's better to cast you go pass, draw your card before you untap on your turn 2. I'm gonna look at all the cards you have.
Oh, what kind of quick cast stuff is he playing during his? See, like in my mind, like I always wait. I let everything resolve. You do your whole turn while I have my stones open. Like I will never. Like when I'm playing quick cast shit, I will never do it at the beginning of your turn because I will do my very best to never let you think I'm tapped out for a turn and you can do whatever the hell you want.
I'm trying to think of anything that Pricia could do in response. I'm thinking about it. I suppose I'm thinking more in response to other decks because I don't want another deck to be able to untap and then me go Loki's Insight you and they go cool. I'll just cast whatever it was that you wanted to get rid of, and I go, well, that defeats the entire purpose of this entire exercise. But it all works out. I think you're right. Knowing that Pricia probably doesn't have a lot of things that they're just going to whip into play at instant speed makes that happen. Here's stuff.
Yeah, no, that's in the theme. Yeah. Interesting tap here, though, because like I said, I always like to leave a black open because like he's going to float like a blue off of this inner trigger. But like that's weird. That doesn't do much. Like I love floating the blacks. And so... Return of God would have been Light Vapors, Dark Depths for me.
Probably.
And because then that gets me into my altars easier. But we'll see. I don't know what he's got up his sleeve. Maybe
I also don't remember how many altars is he running in his deck.
I want to say it was. Let me check.
Oh God! Don't open it in HTML, you fool!
I'm looking at 0.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Is the altars? Are altars gone?
They moved off of altars before we started. And the reason is it doesn't do much. You don't have lots of cards in this deck you want to banish to your altar.
I guess.
Like most of the stuff you have, you want it to stick onto the board. And so you're trying to get it off of your Return of Gods. You're trying to get it to, cheat mana with Athenia. You're trying to cheat mana with Mana Transmuter. You're trying to cheat mana with Fenrir. Like those are all things you're trying to do. And most of these things that you have, you don't have lots of like good ways to banish them for value. Yeah. That was part of my in me telling them my thoughts on the Loki list when I was at the Airbnb. I was also the one who said play all the Fenrirs.
Yeah.
That's just because I have a hard on for Fenrir.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hey, he gets Fenrir to hand. You remembered this time. Hooray!
So, Very interesting. So the Dark Alice is what we used with the Floating Will.
Yep.
And then...
So that tells me he probably knew that was what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And he had just planned out his turn that he's like, I'm going to Return of God, try to hit something good, and then Dark Alice afterwards, regardless of what I hit. Hopefully you hit an Athenia, but...
Ooh.
Oh, top deck claw.
claw.
Oof. Oof,
Okay.
oof. Ah, yes, that's
That
That's
happens.
a claw off the
And
top.
with 2 secret hot springs. Ooh.
okay. Perfect Loki in response. Kills the token. I presume that he went token. Could have gone Stranger at this point. This is about the turn where you start turning the corner from going, the token is basically irrelevant. Instead, I would like my powerful Strangers.
I mean, so I see this, but then I also don't like this because he could have baited out some of these Sacred Beasts, potentially. You know what I mean?
Potentially, yeah.
Like, pulling the trigger on a 6/6 that can't swing this turn. What in the Sam hell just happened?
He just drew his entire Stranger deck is what he did.
Oh my goodness. And he ended up choosing Strangers. So he went Friendship and Strangers.
Yeah.
Is there a cancel? That's canceled chant spell, right? But there is kind of like an Erendite in the Strangers.
There is an Erendite that you can run in the Strangers. I'm gonna go see. It is an Erendite, so it doesn't hit the Judgment trigger.
Is it blue though?
It is blue
Yeah,
as well.
so-
It's Blue Wizard. Let's see what. Let me open up Dylan's list. His Stranger deck. He is running 2 copies of Blue Wizard. He's also running 2 of the
How the hell is he playing
of
that?
Liz.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, he's got those.
So
over
he
here.
has Deep Woods. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's actually running 4 Deep Woods, which is way more than I would run.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out why the Perfect Loki came down as quick as it did.
Yeah, you could have baited him into trying to put some of these chickens on the board.
Yeah, something, anything. Like at this point, it didn't even look like a token was coming in. He went Strangers and
Yeah.
Friendship, and so there's nothing to kill.
Yeah, maybe he just locked into his strategy a little bit earlier. Maybe he's got a plan that. See, that's possible. Happens. So, all right.
Interesting. So he can't do anything on his turn. We've got 2 flashes though, so when his card enters the field, return target Resonator to its owner's hand if the total cost is less than or equal to the number of 4 Sacred Beasts. So we have
You can bounce something, but there's really nothing here you want to bounce.
yeah,
Like, you
no,
don't
the
want
only
to
2
get-
targets you don't want back in their hand, so
You could bounce Athenia because it's not castable at the moment.
you can't
it's
actually
actually-
bounce Athenia because you don't have
Oh,
enough.
right. You wouldn't have enough Sacred Beasts.
Yeah.
Right. But you don't really want to just be like, yes, draw 2 more cards.
Yeah. No, Athenia, I mean, Zukwe would deal 200 and do literally nothing. Swinging for
Looks
8
like-
there, just kind of leaving, and that's good in my mind. So, like, what you guys would notice is Andrew swung before tapping his ruler for a stone. This is something that you'll see a lot of good players doing, is sometimes they'll do a lot of the early stuff without showing all of the information that they're doing with their turn to their opponent, right? So swinging with that 8 but threatening Judgment also means that, like, flashing in a blocker might not have been the
Yeah.
right call, or doing anything really. It's just kind of just makes your opponent think. So
Yeah. It allows you to attack with Perfect Loki and kind of say you want to try to interact with this. If you do stuff.
Zukwe chasing triggers to deal
Yeah.
800
It'll be
damage.
8 damage, yeah.
That's gonna get Power of Immortality.
It's going to be bounced,
I don't know.
apparently.
That's good. Oh, the Perfect Loki is,
Okay.
which is fine. Bounce the Perfect Loki, Power of Immortality on the Athenia,
That sounds
Inner
fun.
Trigger,
I'm down for
recover
this.
3 stones.
Yeah, that looks like what he's going for.
Ooh, gross. Oh no, he played it, and then
He just
Athenia
cast
dies.
it to... Well, no. So what you do is he
Oh.
bewildering charms it in response to the triggers,
Yeah,
and then casts it in response to the triggers. The perfect Loki effect kills the 2 Zooquays, and then
There
both the
is
triggers
no-
go off, doing
yeah.
nothing because there's no 4 Sacred Beast. That's cute.
I would have let him die. Power of Immortality, recover stones, go into opponent's turn. Perfect Loki on their turn.
Yeah.
And with
You also get to just
2
hold up
stones
Judgment next
recovered.
turn.
Yeah.
This has been another one. This has been a solid showing, really. Shows me that the perfect Loki deck definitely has legs as long as you don't. I worry about what happens watching this, what happens when you don't hit your stones right. Because it turns out turn 1 look, turn 2 Seal of Lenneth
Mm-hmm.
is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't turn
My-
2
my
seal
worry-
this time, but yeah.
He had
Turn
it
1 look,
live, though.
turn 1 look, turn 2 Loki's Insight.
Yeah,
That
that was good in that
nuts.
situation, too. Turns out Loki's Insight's a pretty good card.
Is he gonna bounce the Dark Atlas?
Is it a must trigger? It is, yeah. He just wants to put this out as a blocker to prevent damage at the moment, I think.
And then
And he's just going to Burning Rush. Not really sure.
so 5 counters.
Yeah, it'll be 5 counters.
I mean, that's a 10-12. That's a big ass thing.
No, it isn't. There's no claw on the board.
God, there's no claw on the board.
Yeah, got sealed.
All
So
right.
we got 1 reroll, 1 stone on tap,
Yeah. What is? Ooh, that's
1 stranger.
so
I'm presuming 1 through 4 is what he's doing.
untap. So
Oof.
untap stranger, untap. Oh God. Just Precious getting untapped right now. That's for damn
Yeah.
sure. And 1
A token!
burn. Oh, is that? Yeah,
That's token.
1 is burn. Yeah, 2 is token. So
He
he
gets
gets
a 6/6 with swiftness and untaps his stones and gets 1 stranger.
And these 6/6s are permanent, aren't they? This card is nuts.
Yes, that card is quite nuts. Not as much in this situation that we're watching now. It's more nuts when I was practicing against it last night and had a lot of situations where Dustin was just like slamming like 4 beasts down on turn 2, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
man, I need to OTK you right now.
Oh man.
I mean, it doesn't look.
So that
Great
was the
at the
stranger
moment.
that we drew.
That's a Regulus. That's a
That is a
card.
Regulus.
It does damage sometimes.
I mean, but we don't survive judgment here.
No.
9 cards. That is the stranger.
He had 1 other stranger. He got 2 though. So the last card in his
I
hand
only
is another
see-
stranger.
No, I see 9 cards in his face down.
That's weird.
Right? Because he got
Yeah,
a
because
stranger.
he should have gotten a stranger off of the.
the claw and a stranger off of.
It looks like he didn't grab the stranger off of.
Stranger of Super Beast Rush.
Did he get the stranger off of Yogg-Saron's puzzle box? That is the question.
Puzzle box. What up, Travis? Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah, that's a judgment. That's a look at some cards. I don't think there's anything for 1 blue that you really can do.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Besides bump your microphone, apparently. Yeah, this will wipe the board, push 16 damage, pass. Or you could even... Interesting why he tapped 3 instead of pitching the Fenrir that I know he has in his hand.
I mean, I
Wild.
think he just sees lethal here.
Does he have lethal here?
It should 8, 16, 24. Oh, never mind. Sorry, that thing's
He only
that thing ain't got
has 2
swiftness.
things without summoning sickness at the moment.
Yeah.
You see, if he had Neo Rag, he wouldn't be able to cast it right now, but
plenty of bewildering charms, plenty of shit to do in the grave, light of
Yeah.
Sacred Spirit, so
Yeah, you
I
have
don't
plenty of
see-
interaction. You just push 16 and pass, I think.
Yep.
You know your opponent has like nothing in hand. Because of that early Loki's Insight to shred everything. Loki's Insight is one of the cards with like the highest ceiling and the lowest floor of any card in this format right now.
yeah.
Almost as bad as Yogg-Strong's Puzzle Box.
But
Like-
in my mind, I don't think the floor is as low as what people think it is. Because even if... so, like, Loki's Insight's never cast except for at end of opponent's turn, right? Or sometime during your opponent's turn.
or on their draw step before they untap, yeah.
Yeah,
At some
so-
point when they can interact.
So this is a quick cast card. I don't think it interferes with your play lines too much. Like, there's not much more that you want to be doing. So, like, at the very least, you see your opponent's hand, and I put so much value on that. So
Baroost.
much value.
It's a Baroost. Look at him go. He's a Baroost. Look at him.
Not
be.
awakened with swiftness.
You're gonna bewildering charm him anyway. Doesn't much matter. My thought on Loki's Insight though is like I think it depends on the deck you're playing. Machines, you can take your whole turn 2 off to Loki's Insight, and if you hit 2 cards, you feel amazing, and if you hit 0 cards, you've just wasted a turn you could have spent creating a board state.
Yeah.
So that's what I felt when I was playing it. But there are decks like the Loki deck where you don't really have anything else you do on turn 2. So
Yeah, and it's essential. It's essential that your turn 3 goes
Yeah.
off without a hitch. Your
and
turn
it's very
3,
essential to beat up like Kaguya decks too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
Oof.
Oh.
Top 8 should have been a lot different.
Yeah, those yeah. I mean, a lot of it was that he hit every single piece of interaction that he could ever have dreamed of wanting.
Yeah, that was the those are the dream starts for Perfect Loki, and so that's
Yeah.
awesome that we got to see it kind of on stream. I will say though, Andrew, the
You need to
turn,
probably pull him in here.
the turn. Oh, he's not in here.
No.
I got
Drag him over here.
Drag him. What's up, buddy? Andrew.
Hey, I'm here. Sorry.
Hey. Hey. So,
Hello.
dude, everything was awesome.
Yeah, that's how the deck played for me all week in Vegas. Like, I felt like I could never lose. Like, I just let them beat the shit out of my life. I was like, yeah, my life's a resource. I know when I get less than 20, I probably lose. But I was just like, cool. Get to 4 stones. Judge, Loki, use my entire deck. It's like I'm playing Gil. I feel like I'm playing a Gil deck with this deck. But you're
Really?
using your graveyard instead of your main deck. Yeah. I did misread Finir. I didn't see the period to where it goes into your hand when you reveal it. I didn't know that. Cal called me out. I was like, wait, it actually goes to your hand. I read it again. I'm like, there's a period there. It actually goes to your hand. That's broken. That means I always have it. I don't have to draw it. That's stupid.
It's like it's a good card or something.
Yeah.
All right, hey Andrew, you're getting echo.
Oh, it's because my shitty fucking
Echo.
And there's still an echo.
Mm,
I'll just go to.
not
I'll
anymore.
just go to push. I'll go to push to talk when you.
Okay, yeah, no, that'll work. Yeah, no, there was the play line where you went Bewildering Charm on your Perfect Loki, recast Perfect Loki with the chickens on the field, right?
Yeah.
So, I think one of the things that we were talking about was like any time that your opponent thinks it's a good idea to kill your Athena, like that's where Power of Immortality comes in, right? So, Power of Immortality on your Athena, recover 3 stones, then you essentially go into your opponent's turn with that 4 will. You're not topped out. Then you do the Bewildering Charm Perfect Loki play on their turn and just completely F them up. Right? But like that was something that like every time I play Perfect Loki, I always, anytime they try to kill my Athena, that's where the Power of Immortality comes in.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are pushing to talk, you are failing.
Oh, sorry. I am here again. I am here. I was talking to myself. My play line. I was so focused on. All right, I got 4 mana here. I can do this. I was like, all right, Boon Charm bounces this back. All right, cool. Respond. I should have done it differently too. So like, I should have waited till he played his guys, and I think one game and waited till he played some of his Sicker Beast and flash in my Loki. But like, there was a turn where I just like responded triggers, put it in there, and I was just like, wait, I should have just done that to your inner effects.
Yeah, we noticed that too. We were kind of questioning that line. What sometimes you just get kind of tunnel vision. It happens.
Yeah,
dude.
Like,
and I mean, honestly, I
do play Arondites, so
get
you
super
play
jacked
Arondites?
up and jittery
Yes.
to play. Oh, do you really?
yeah, in the side.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, like Jalen, I was telling Jalen, Mike was maining the 2 Arondites, and I was clapping him every game and testing. He's like, God dang, perfect Loki. That card is dumb, stupid. You get all your look of insights every game. Stupid. I hate this game. And then I was like, Mike, you won the tournament. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mike, you're going to Japan. Shut up.
Yeah.